Remember this guy? The giant red pitcher who smashed through walls yelling, "Oh yeah?" Like a sugar-fueled superhero? Turns out, Kool-Aid wasn't just a quirky mascot. His story is way sketchier than the fruit punch grin suggests. Tangled in bizarre facts, branding chaos, and a legacy that's anything but sweet. So let's get into the story of Kool-Aid. So during the Great Depression, when families could barely afford bread, one man found a way to sweeten his survival. From his small town in Nebraska, Edwin Perkins transformed his bottled drink. It was called Fruit Smacked, and he made it into a powder. It was cheaper to make and easier to ship. And in 1927, that's when Kool-Aid was born. The first 6 flavors hit shelves at just 10 cents a packet, offering struggling families a rare taste of joy in the hardest of times. Remarkably, behind this bright drink was a darker story. One that would question what a sweet treat actually cost. But before we get into that, let me share how the Kool-Aid venture began. In 1954, art director Marvin Potts was inspired by his son's doodles on a frosty window. From that came Pitcher Man, a cheerful mascot for a cheerful drink.
You can give your youngsters a lot of pleasure with Kool-Aid. You know it's pure and good. It has the Parents Magazine seal. And it's so thrifty. A 5-cent package makes 2 full quarts. Just add Kool-Aid to water with ice. Add some sugar and stir.
For the very best drink you ever made.
Be sure that the envelope says Kool-Aid.
But then things took a turn. By the 1970s, Pitcher Man had bulked up into Kool-Aid Man, a giant, wall-smashing jug of excitement. The only problem is he didn't have a catchphrase yet.
Thirst on the run, get a big, wide, happy ear to ear Kool-Aid smile. 'Cause the biggest smile is a Kool-Aid smile. A Kool-Aid smile, a Kool-Aid smile.
Your friend's cool. My friend's Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid brand soft drink.
So marketing tossed around ideas like "Here I am" and "Thirst Be Gone." Yes, they really did come up with these ideas. And at one point, Kool-Aid Man was going to be a genie. Can you believe that? But eventually, they struck gold with the legendary catchphrase, "Oh yeah," thanks to voice actor Frank Sim. Oh yeah. And fun fact, he also worked on SNL and sang backup for David Bowie. It was iconic, but fame has a shelf life. From controversies over sugar content to backlash about targeting kids, Kool-Aid's legacy isn't all sweet. Now let's listen to these really weird and even disturbing stories associated with Kool-Aid. After the Korean War, the US noticed these strange zombie-like behaviors from its war vets, causing them to wonder if the enemy conducted mind experiments on them. So the CIA started to scratch their head and realize maybe something's wrong. So they started a top secret program involving Kool-Aid and LSD to see if they could recreate the odd behavior and confirm their suspicions. This BBC story touched on that matter.
They funded an army of psychiatric institutions across the United States and Canada to perform experiments on unsuspecting patients using psychedelic drugs, sensory deprivation, electroshock treatment, and more. The program was known by its codename, MKUltra.
The shocking and unethical testing was exposed by a whistleblower in 1973, and it sparked investigations, congressional hearings, and class action lawsuits from the survivors' families. There's no evidence that Kool-Aid knew its drink was being used as a weapon, and there's no reason to suspect otherwise. Next, you've likely heard the phrase, "Don't drink the Kool-Aid," a staple in pop culture, political memes, and people say it probably at your office. But it actually comes from this eerie Jamestown massacre in 1978, where over 900 cult followers were led to ingest a fruit drink laced with poison. The actual drink was Flavor 8, but Kool-Aid took the cultural hit, and its name is forever tied to this blind obedience. Thankfully, Kool-Aid was innocent in both stories, but it's not in the next story that I'll tell you. Now let's get into the brand drama history. Let's get to the shady story about how Kool-Aid marketed its delicious drink using unethical and manipulative advertising tactics. So in the 80s and 90s, parents were working non-stop, and Kool-Aid's creative director knew this. So instead of trying to chase these busy mom and dads, he went straight for the kids. If the kids asked for a fruit drink, what do you think mom and dad would say? Yes, of course. All we heard is fruits. We want them to be healthy, so it must be good for them.
Is it ready yet? Is it ready yet?
Let me have some!
Ooh, me first, me first, me first.
Patience. It's only been 20 seconds. Now what do we say?
Please.
That's better.
The marketing campaign would be that Kool-Aid was a drink created only for kids. The advertising executives tapped into being a kid and made the child the center of the universe in their commercials. And they promised them instant sweet satisfaction.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at just one of these old commercials. High energy fun, super strength like their favorite superhero, and no parents in sight. And the creative directors didn't forget about the older kids. Being cool and doing rad stuff, like hanging out at the beach, could win over any tween. And notice again, no parents.
And it's actually a whole lot more.
And a whole lot.
Then there was these print ads. This sweet drink could be as much fun as a theme party with all your friends. It was marketed with the claim provides vitamin C, featuring whole fruits pictured on the packets. And it seemed like something parents dreamed of, a healthy drink, and they didn't have to force this on the children? Well, no. Kool-Aid has zero fruits. However, they did manage to sneak in vitamin C, but there was no sugar in the powder, so it was still a deal with the devil. Typically, kids mix the drink on their own, and that involved adding a crap load of sugar on their own. And kids were gulping these drinks laced with like 25, 50, and even if they went crazy, 100 grams of added sugar. On top of that, artificial dye and preservatives. And this is all terrible for your health. So this was all masked by bright colors and cartoonish charm. But it wasn't punch. It wasn't fruits. It was a chemical cocktail dressed as fun. Eventually, the Kool-Aid executives heard whispers of added sugar, and this is definitely a big no-no with childhood obesity and diabetes becoming a huge problem. So they offered a sugar-free option, pre-sweetened with NutraSweet. But by then, it was too late. By the late 1990s, nutrition experts and watchdogs started calling out Kool-Aid's sweet disguise. Each glass packed as much sugar as soda, and this was flagged by health advocates. And despite the sugar-free version, the backlash for the misleading ads had already left a sour aftertaste. Now, as we wrap up the story, it's quite amazing to see how Kool-Aid Man, who bursted through the walls with that booming, "Oh yeah," became more than just a mascot. He embodied chaotic fun and sugary excess with real dangerous health risks. Behind the picture lurked corporate spin, and vitamin C couldn't cover that. Kool-Aid's still around, but now it has more accurate labeling than its neon heyday. So what do you think? Should Kool-Aid Man be canceled due to his problematic marketing? Or do you think eventually in time he's going to be faded out and future generations are going to tune out? What do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments and follow for more advertising history.